Return of the Magnussen, return of the Magnussen, return of the Mag. He's going back to Haas. That is right, we've got Kevin Magnussen joining the grid for the 2022 season with Haas Formula 1. And it's been the big talking point over the course of the last week or so. Since Nikita Mazepin was dropped by Haas Formula 1 on Saturday, the big news has been who is going to replace him at Haas and who is going to get that seat in the 2022 Formula 1 season. Kevin Magnussen has been confirmed on a multi-year deal with Haas as well. So he's not just coming in for this season, he's coming in for multiple years alongside the team. And Magnussen obviously left at the end of 2020 alongside his teammate Romain Grosjean when Haas were in just financial turmoil. Basically, they needed funding to make sure that the team was going to be able to continue into the 2021 and 2022 seasons. And for that reason, they had to bring in Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. I think otherwise, they would have probably stuck with Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean for the foreseeable future. But those two rookies came in last year. Now, Nikita Mazepin has been dropped. Kevin Magnussen is taking his place. And like you, I was thinking, what's Kevin Magnussen been up to in his year off? And actually, he's been right at the top level still. He's been in America with the giant Chip Ganassi racing industry and has been in the IMSA and tearing it up in the IMSA as well. Magnussen only finished outside the top 5 places once in 9 races, showing that he is still at that top competitive level and keeping himself in tip-top form. We actually saw him pop up in IndyCar as well with his ex-team McLaren at Road to America. So he's been in and amongst the IndyCar teams whilst he's been away. And also he was signed up for Peugeot's return to the 24-hour Le Mans as well. So he was, set for a pretty big 2022 alongside what has been a very, very consistent 2021 for him as well. But all of those contracts he has been released from, and he has taken the opportunity to step into the seat for Haas in Formula 1. And you can't blame him. I absolutely love him, and I cannot believe that he is back because, I'll be honest, I just didn't think he would be in the realms of possibility for Haas. He was having such a good time. He'd said after he left Haas that he was looking for new challenges and new directions, and now just a year later he is back into the team. And Haas team principal Günther Steiner obviously has spoken out about this and said it was a straightforward decision for the team to bring Kevin back in. Obviously Kevin was a key component in our previous successes, of course, talking about that 2018 season where Kevin Magnussen was on fire for Haas. Haas finished 5th in the constructors' standings that year, and Kevin Magnussen picked up 56 points, finishing 9th in the driver's standings. That's his best season and Haas's best season as well. He was just incredible, and considering where Haas have been over the last couple of years, just imagining them being 5th in the Constructors' Championship, continually battling for points and being in and amongst those midfield teams just seems a world away from where they've been in the last couple of years. And obviously that veteran presence back in Formula 1 and back in the Haas garage is going to be a really big component for them. Obviously Günther Steiner even saying that veteran presence is both in the garage and in the engineering room, and he'll provide a solid benchmark for us for the ongoing development of the VF22. And I think he makes an incredible point. I think Kevin Magnussen brings so much to the team outside of his just pure racing ability. Kevin Magnussen was also talking about it, and he said he was very surprised, but equally very excited to be back in Formula 1. And I think you could see that excitement in his face. He has been in Bahrain today, and there's been a little bit of footage as he was walking around the garage again, obviously reacquainting himself with those guys he left just a year ago and getting to know them again and reacquainting himself with people in and amongst the garage. And it was lovely to see because he looks so excited to be back and he looks hungry for points in Formula 1 again. And he said he was looking for a different direction regarding his commitments for 2022, but the opportunity to return and compete in Formula 1 with a team I know extremely well was simply too appealing. So Magnussen is absolutely loving the fact he is back in Formula 1. And even though he had all of these big contracts lined up, even though he had very competitive racing ahead of him in 2022, that allure of Formula 1 is just too big and he is back in the Haas. And I think we'll see him behind the car very, very soon. Obviously, the testing is going across the next couple of days, but he is already in Bahrain with with the team, and I think we'll see him behind the wheel of a Formula One car very, very soon. And that's just a quick summary of everything Kevin Magnussen so far. What do you think? Are you happy with their choice of driver? Do you think they should have gone for maybe a Giovinazzi, a Piastri, an Ilott even in that Haas seat instead of Kevin Magnussen? Do you think this is a good move to Haas, or do you think that this is a better move for Kevin Magnussen? What can Kevin Magnussen do now he is back in Formula One, and where do you think he'll sort of slot in? Do you think he'll be back in and amongst those midfield teams, maybe, you know, ahead of the Williamses and Alfa Romeos, or do you think it will still be a tough season for him at Haas? I'd love to know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Whilst you're there, leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you next time.